Hi everyone! If you've just bumped over here from the previous video, which was a book haul, a very long book haul, one, kudos to you for wanting to see more of me. Two, that's why the books are still there. I changed my shirt so it looks somewhat more different. But yeah, so basically what I want to talk about is my to-be read list. Over the next 8 weeks or so until the beginning of August, so 6 weeks really. It's long, it's probably impossible to achieve, but I'm really excited to read whatever I want rather than read stuff for university. So a lot of the books on this list are laying there. I've just kind of gone through them. There are a couple that aren't on the list, so ones like The Light Between Oceans, Coptown, a City of Mirrors, and was that on there? Or was that not on there? No, I'll leave that on there. What's that? No, that's all on there. That's all on there. Eat, Pray, Love, and the 3 Sarah J Maas books, and I believe that was it. Who the hell knows? But the point is, not all of them are getting read. But in replacement for those, I have like another 10 books here. Haha! Unrealistic goals, guys. Okay. So, basically, I'm not going to go through them all again because I just did, and fuck that. So, moving on from those to be read, if you want to know anything about those books, go watch the previous video. I am wanting to read, I'm just going to go through them. So, The Passage by Justin Cronin. This is the first book in... I'm going to like tip everything over. Oh god. This is the first book in this trilogy. I've read a fair bit of it, but I read that, like, the book's kind of yellow, so you can kind of tell that I've had it for a couple of years. I read a solid 350 pages, and there's only, like, 950 pages in the book. But what I actually read, I really liked. But then, I remember very clearly, I got to this part, and I was like, what the hell just happened? All my main characters that I like, something has happened to them, and now I have a whole bunch of different characters. So I found that quite jarring, so I put it down and never picked it back up. But I actually want to finish that, read the second one, read the third one. Okay, next. Tomorrow When the War Began, John Marsden. Loved the movie, want to read the book. I've heard that the books are better than the movies. I really love the movie though. It's young adult. I don't think it'll be too much of a long read. I only have like the first and second book and maybe the third one, but I don't have all of them, so I want to read them. And also, I wanted to know what happened after the movie ended, and they never wanted to make any sequels for some stupid ass reason. So I'll make my own damn sequel in my mind. But basically, what it's about is Ellie and her friends leave home one quiet morning, wave goodbye to their parents, head up into the hills to camp out. When they come back, the world has changed, and like people have invaded and taken their parents and blah blah blah, and they have to fight, or they have to pick if they want to fight, if they want to give up everything, if they want to sacrifice even life itself to kind of save what they kind of cherish as their life. So they're on the list. Next, She's Not There by Jenny Finney Boylan. She is a trans woman in Caitlyn Jenner's show, I Am Kate. She's really interesting. I really appreciate her in the show because she brings some sense and intelligence, where there definitely needs to be, especially with Caitlyn Jenner. And that's nothing against her. I'm a huge fan of her, but I'll be the first one to say she's fucking dumb at times. But this is basically, it gives a perspective of Jenny's transition, and you know, from changing from male to female, and kind of exploring that. And I'm writing a book on a young adult book on a transgender teenager, so this is research for that book, because I kind of want to do that kind of topic justice. So that's on the list. Next, Redefining Realness by Janet Mock. Hardcover, because I'm a huge hardcover fan. Again, transgender woman. I have issues with Janet Mock, with some of the things that she says, but I still really appreciate her for the trailblazer that she is. I think she's one of the most vocal trans people in the world, especially trans women. I think she's one of the most intelligent trans people in the world. So I really want to get her perspective on this. It's her memoir. It follows her gender identity kind of crisis as well as her transition. And it's really kind of, from what I've heard, it's a really good kind of starting point to understand trans issues. So, of course, I'm going to grab it and read it. Next. Princess Diana. Diana, Her True Story in Her Own Words, by Andrew Morton, and Secretly by Princess Diana. I really, 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 really am a fan of Princess Diana. And what I like about this is that she secretly co-authored it, through interviews and recordings and everything like that, kind of under the royal family's nose. So I find her life so fascinating and so sad that, you know, it was cut short, but the idea of getting that personal insight into a royal family member's life in such a candid way, where it isn't kind of dictated, I guess, by an entire family. So I really, really, really am pumped to read that. Next is Joan Rivers, Diary of a Mad Diva. I've been reading this for so long, and I'm kind of getting there. I have that much to go, and I just want to finish the fucking book. And it's not, the worst thing is, it's not even a hard book to read, but it's just a matter of wanting to sit there and read 365 days of Joan Rivers' life. It gets a bit much at times, as well as I just haven't had time. But one of my favourite, I love Joan Rivers because she was such a trailblazer as well as so politically incorrect. But where was it? There was one that I'll read you the dedication. So the opening quote is by Kanye West. Some people write novels and they just be so wordy and so self-absorbed. I am a proud non-reader of books. The dedication. This book be dedicated to Kanye West because he'll never fucking read it. I love her so much. The other thing was one of the entries I'll read. There. Dear Diary, today is National Pig Day and I completely forgot to call Kevin Federline. I'll send him a note or a bucket of slop. He's not that fussy. Her humour was so kind of crass and so kind of terrible, but in such a good way. So yeah. Second last book by Angelina Jolie. Notes from my travels. This is from when she visited Africa, Cambodia, Pakistan, and Ecuador. I love Angelina Jolie. If there's any people that I hold in really high regard in life, she would be one of them, or she is one of them. She's such a humanitarian, and I find her so inspiring. So I really want that perspective of the world. I think, living in a Western society, it's really easy to kind of take life for granted, and you don't realize how much you have and how kind of much you should be appreciating until you see what other people are living and you go, maybe life isn't that bad. So that's why I really want to read it. And then finally, Wildflower by Drew Barrymore. It's basically her memoir. She's an interesting character for sure. From things that I've read and stuff, she had such like a sad kind of childhood and well, not really sad, but like a really chaotic kind of childhood and adolescence, I guess. And she's kind of changed her life in so many ways, and I think she's super talented, super funny, super humble, and I love reading memoirs because it feels like I get to know them more personally, but I only read memoirs that are written by the person, unless it's a very kind of special circumstance, but even then you kind of have to read it with, you know, a grain of salt. So that's it. That's my to-be read list. As well as, you know, I'll quickly go through them because I have no life. So, Burial Rites by Hannah Kent, Peter V. Brett, The Painted Man, Diana Gabaldon, Outlander, and the second book, which is Dragonfly and Amber, Water for Elephants by Sarah... No, that's not what I'm reading. That's not on the list. Piss off. Again, the ones that I just read, so She's Not There by Jennifer Finney Boyland, Joan Rivers, Diary of a Mad Diva, Diana, Her True Story in Her Own Words, by Andrew Morton, in case anyone wants to know that, Redefining Realness by Janet Mock, Wildflower by Drew Barrymore, Notes from My Travels by Angelina Jolie, Illuminae, Jay Christoph and Amy Kaufman, You Know Me Well by Nina LaCour and David Levithan, Reckoning by Magda Szubanski, World War Z, Max Brooks, The Passage, Justin Cronin, Carol by Patricia Highsmith, Trial, the complete trilogy, no pressure there, by Amanda Hocking, Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs, Tomorrow When the War Began, John Marsden, book 1 and 2, and The Name of the Wind and the Wise Man's Fear by Patrick Rothfuss. So that's it. I'm going to go kind of drown in my books. I'm actually probably going to pack them away and go to bed. But yeah, hopefully that video was kind of quicker. Not really, it's still been like 13 minutes, but point is, that's what I plan to read. I'll let you just know how I go. Hopefully I can find some readathons to motivate myself to read them. I really want to find like a place where I can go and read that isn't my bedroom, and that isn't home, but it's just, you know, I don't want to travel an hour to find somewhere, or to go somewhere, because by the time I get there, I'll just be like, nah, I want to go home. But in the meantime, I'm super excited to start reading what I want to read. First book that I'm reading is going to be You Know Me Well by Nina LaCour and David Levithan. So yeah, we'll see where we go. I'll give you an update video eventually. Kind of just see how we go. I'll do some book reviews on some of them. Super excited. Pumped up. Yeah, let's go. Happy reading, people. See ya.